Welcome to Talking Straight. I'm Suresh Kochattil. The Indian Air Force Chief, Air Chief Marshal V.R. Chaudhary, said that there's shortage of fighter squadrons and this must be addressed on a top priority to retain our combat. The IAF chief's statement came in when China was bolstering its air bases in Tibet against India and deployed a large number of fighter jets and advanced drones since May of 2020. The Indian Air Force Squadron strength has come down to 31 after it phased out the Srinagar-based Squadron 51 in September, which used to operate the MiG-21 Bison fighter jets. This contrasts with the sanctioned strength of 42 squadrons, which Indian Air Force needs. The IAF will have around 35 to 36 squadrons by the middle of next decade if the procurement plan goes as per schedule. Rahul Gandhi and other opposition leaders have tried their best to stop the induction of Rafale into the Indian Air Force with the principal aim to help China. The UPA government did not add a single new fighter aircraft and actually admitted that did not have money to buy the 126 Rafales that the French firm Dassault Aviation had offered. Today, the Indian Air Force has 31 fighting squadrons, and in the coming few years, the number will further reduce to less than 30 for the first time in over 2 to 3 decades. During the last year's press conference, the Chief of Air Staff, Air Chief Marshal V.R. Chaudhary, said it would not be possible for the Indian Air Force to reach the sanctioned strength of 42 fighter squadrons in the next 10 to 15 years. The strength will remain and continue to remain at 35 squadrons. 4 squadrons of the Light Combat Aircraft, or LCA Mk1A as it is known, 6 squadrons of the Advanced Medium Combat Aircraft, and 6 Medium Role Fighter Aircraft, or MRFA as it is called, and then factoring in the phase out, it will remain at 35 squadrons in the next decade. There is no scope of increment as of now. Phasing out of MiG-21s, Jaguars, Mirage 2000 and MiG-29 by the end of the decade, accreditations were limited to 83 LCA Mk1A, which are set to begin only by 2024. Currently, it is known that Mk1A started undergoing its maiden flight trials from May onwards. The aircraft is an upgraded version of the LCA Mk1. The LCA Mk1 reached full operational capabilities in 2020. The Indian Air Force has an authorized strength of 42 fighter squadrons by 2035. But defense analysts feel that this number is too ambitious given the pace at which procurements have been taking place in the past few decades. In addition to the phase-outs, the design phase of the AMCA, India's stealth fighter, was complete and it is now awaiting cabinet approval for the prototype. In contrast, China, a neighbor which fares high on India's threat perception, has over 2,800 aircraft, and this does not include trainer variants and the UAVs. Of these, according to the US State Department and Department of Defense, approximately 2,250 are combat aircraft, including fighters, strategic bombers, tactical bombers, multi-mission tactical and attack aircraft. China has upgraded its J-20 and J-31 aircraft and is now working with the new fighter jets in the 6th generation fighting capabilities, with hypersonic weapons to boot. The Tejas Mk2 fighter aircraft project was sanctioned only in September 2022. The Cabinet Committee on Security improved the project for the development, flight testing and certification. The CCS has approved 6,500 crores to design and build these prototypes, test these flights and certify them for the Tejas Mk2 fighter jets. Given this situation, the 114 multi-role fighter aircraft, or MRFA as it's called, the program is approximately worth about US $20 billion and needs to be acted upon immediately. While the request for information RFI was issued in 2019, the Indian Air Force is now finalizing the services qualitative agreements. Once the SQRs are finalized, after the acceptance of necessity is issued by the Defence Acquisition Council, the request for proposal will be issued. Some reports suggest that this is set to happen by the end of the year, although nothing has been officially said by the Indian Air Force yet. The MRFA will be taken up under the strategic partnership models of Buy Global and Make in India scheme, wherein it is said that 18 fighters will fly to India ready-made condition, while 96 will be developed domestically. The Indian Air Force first floated medium multi-role combat aircraft MMRCA tender to procure 126 new combat jets from foreign original equipment manufacturers in 2007. If you remember, that was the time when India was negotiating with the Dassault Aviation. In 2012, the Eurofighter Typhoon and the Dassault Rafale emerged as the final contenders, with the Rafale winning the competition for the contract. But the program couldn't take place because of disagreements between the Dassault Aviation and India's Hindustan Aeronautics Limited. In 2015, the MMRCA program was totally scrapped by the Modi government. But with an immense loss of Indian Air Force's operational capabilities, the government decided to quickly acquire 36 Rafales in a fly-by-wire condition from the Dassault Aviation under a government-to-government deal with the French government, which this made the procurement faster and without any controversies. But the acquisition of the Rafales did not solve the depleting squadron problem of the Indian Air Force, which was happening due to the previous UPA-1 and UPA-2. The Indian Air Force put forward a new plan, rechristened as MMRCA 2.0, by floating an RFI for the procurement of 114 multi-role fighters. Different foreign conglomerates are in the fray for this multi-role fighter aircraft program. But the delay is causing anxiety and confusion among the participants. The contenders for the MRFA program are the Lockheed Martin's F-21, Boeing Super Hornet FA-18, EF and Dassault Aviation's Rafale, and Saab's Gripen, Jas-39, and Russia's MiG-35 and Su-35, the Sukhois, and the European consortium-led Eurofighter Typhoon. After the US government's nod, Boeing has also offered the F-15EX Eagle II for the Indian Air Force. What needs to be noted here was that the Saab has Gripen on offer. The Swedish company did not participate in the Aero 2021 in Bengaluru. The Rafale, which is the Indian Air Force already using, is a multi-role fighter aircraft with twin engines. It has a Canard Delta wing and top speed of 1.8 Mach, or the speed of sound, and uses Meteor air-to-air missiles. The F-18 Block 3 Super Hornet is a type of a fighter and attack twin engine capabilities, and has AIM-9X Sidewinder missiles air-to-air, as well as an AIM-120 Advanced Medium Range Air-to-Air Missile. The F-15EX with a twin engine has a strong airframes and has a powerful processors with advanced flight control systems and advanced medium range air-to-air missiles. The F-21 multi-role fighter has a single engine with a nose-mounted radar fitted with a retractable fuel probe with an advanced medium range air-to-air missile. The Jas-39 is a single engine multi-role non-stealth fighter aircraft with a Meteor air-to-air missiles. While these options may make the Indian Air Force sound spoiled for such choices, in reality the list narrows down to limited options. As India seeks to acquire 114 medium-sized multi-role fighter aircraft under the MMRCA 2.0, the F-15EX and Su-35 eliminate themselves given they are heavyweight and have air superiority fighters. The F-15EX is said to have a maximum takeoff weight of about 36 tons. Nearly the same as a Sukhoi, the Su-30 Mk1, India's workhorse now. Russia's Su-35 has a takeoff weight of around 34.5 tons. Dassault's Rafale, which India already operates, has a takeoff weight of about 24.5 tons. The Gripen and F-21 are both single-engine fighters. But as Indian Air Force has been pressing for dual-engine ones, that is, the dual-engine fighters, the chances of these two fighters appear to be bleak, even if they come at a lower price as compared to others. The F-21 has an additional problem. Pakistan uses F-16 by Lockheed Martin, and just last month, India was up in arms against the United States upgrading Pakistan's F-16 fighter fleet. Well, Lockheed insists that the F-21 fighter will be specifically configured for the Indian Air Force. India has maintained that it is just a repackaged version of the F-16, something that Pakistan already uses. The obvious choice that comes down is now to Rafale, which is undergoing test in the MMRCA selection process. This will save time and equip the Air Force, the Indian Air Force, with the state-of-the-art fighter, which the force already is familiar with. Experts believe that having the same aircraft will be beneficial as the maintenance cost will be low. While there is no reason to rule out the Eurofighter, the problem has that since it's a joint ownership of 6 partners, it may have a problem for India. In June, there were some reports that the government wanted to split the MRFA program into 2 parts. The first part would involve the procurement of 54 foreign jets under the Buy Global and Manufacture in India category of the Defence Acquisition Procedure, with a contract being awarded to a foreign company. Of these, 18 would be procured, as I said before, in a flyaway condition, and the OEM would therefore make 36 more fighters in India with a local partner selected by them. This partner would be from the private sector. The Indian Air Force is pushing for an early acceptance of necessity of Phase 1 from the Defence Acquisition Council and like to issue an RFP by the end of 2022. The second part of the program has not been revealed yet. But with no progress and the necessary approvals, this would push up the cost finally. All said and done, the Union government has to draw a balance between the need to buy new aircrafts and at the same time look at the availability of the money that is there. From a long-term perspective, there has to be a trade-off somewhere. Till then, we'll keep watching. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Please subscribe to Nationalist Hub English channel for more interesting videos and don't forget to like and share this video. Nationalist Hub, it's a news revolution.